2004, 2005, a system like this wasn't even possible to really consider. There was no commercial net metering available, and there were concerns about backfeeding any amount of power on certain lightly loaded areas of the grid.
Meeting the enormous demand for electricity in New York City is a unique and evolving challenge for Con Edison. Making room for large-scale solar required a creative redesign of the networked grid through collaboration with customers and solar developers.
So one of the first large solar arrays we had in our system was a 1.6 megawatt solar array for Jet Row Restaurant Depot, large big box retail type establishment. And because this was not done before, certainly the first foray into this was not going to work because we don't have the ability to control this reverse power flow.
If you have a system that's producing, say, on a Saturday when a manufacturing facility is dark essentially, and you're backfeeding into the network grid, that power is going to get to a network protector at the transformer level. The network protector is like a circuit breaker. It's going to think that there's a short circuit and it's going to open up, and it's going to disconnect voltage from the building, which turns the solar array off. Once the solar array is not backfeeding anymore, the network protector recloses, gives the voltage back to the building, the solar picks back up and starts feeding the network protector again. So they're just doing this terrible little dance that's causing problems around the grid. Con Edison was able to come up with a smart grid program, and it allows them to implement a SCADA to measure the consumption of the building versus the output of the system. They can allow the transformer to accept some amount of backfeed before it starts to shut off the voltage to the building.
We were comfortable as engineers that we weren't compromising the reliability of the grid, but also facilitating options for the customer where they can actually install a nice sized solar array to reduce their energy usage, provide good renewable energy out towards the system, and be successful in moving that power back and forth between these transformers on our grid and the customer's installation.
So they've really worked hard to try to make an antiquated grid work with new technology. So New York City is a load pocket, so it's a situation where we can't always just easily bring in more power. You can't bring in more lines. The fact that solar is a distributed resource, sitting on a rooftop and feeding a building at peak demand times, during the day, it's great for Con Ed, and it's great for the city as well.
Yeah, so we're seeing exponential growth in solar right now. I mean, it's almost a doubling each year. So we're coming up on 100 megawatts of solar by end of year on about 5,500 projects, 1,500 projects already completed this year already. So we're probably projecting another 2,500 projects next year alone. So it's strong, and it's going to remain strong. I think the complexity of our business will increase as we have the ability to leverage thousands of customer-sided solutions rather than one specific asset like a substation. I think what will evolve over the next 10 years is more relationships with third parties, more leveraging of technology, and certainly more of a marriage between the customer, the utility, and the third party around information, technology, and control that I think is going to be very different than what we have today.